Esos judíos de las 12 tribus, que no son los que mandan hoy en el Estado de Israel. Los que hoy gobiernan, Netanyahu no es judío auténtico. Él es un cambalache que viene por allá de Polonia. Para los que les gusta hablar de religiones y dicen que esto es un conflicto religioso. No, esto no es un conflicto religioso. El conflicto que hay desde la fundación del Estado de Israel es un conflicto geopolítico. Porque ese Estado lo crearon para conquistar todo el Medio Oriente y Asia Central y quitarle las riquezas y colonizar esos pueblos. Es el proyecto sionista que dicen que van desde el río Jordán hasta el Éufrates y más allá.
What would you assume is the most major threat on the world stage? Anybody, just call it out. You don't have to raise your hand.
Definitely Russia.
Definitely Russia. That's confident. I like it. Who says Russia? Anybody agree with her? Hands? Okay, great. Who else?
China.
Stop yelling at me, but China is a good answer. Anybody? Who else? China?
North Korea?
North Korea. Any North Korea takers? And Venezuela? Anybody? No? Oh, yeah. One guy in the back. A little worried about Venezuela. Everybody's cool with Venezuela? No threat? Okay. Let me ask you this. Which one of these places can claim to have the largest oil deposit on the planet? More than Saudi? More than Iran? Wow. Okay, what about things like gold? More than all the mines in Africa combined? The fact is that Venezuela is arguably the single greatest resource of oil and minerals on the planet. So, why is this country in the midst?
The U.S. has carried out a series of airstrikes in Venezuela, capturing President Nicolas Maduro and his wife.
President Donald Trump has said his threats against Venezuela, the U.S. military buildup in the region, and the destruction of civilian boats are about alleged drug trafficking. But there's another issue Trump has been talking about.
The oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Venezuela, on paper, has more than 300 billion barrels of oil.
Or roughly 17% of the world's known oil reserves.
Most of those reserves are in this vast deposit known as the Orinoco Oil Belt.
But there's even more potential underground.
The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that Venezuela has more than 1 trillion barrels of oil in place in the Orinoco Belt. To put it in perspective, the world until today has consumed about 1.5 trillion.
The chances are they are going to outlast the world's demand for oil, so effectively they are limitless at this point.
And there already is a U.S. oil company that's been operating in the country for decades.
Chevron produces about 25% of Venezuela's oil today, is the largest investor in the oil industry and in the country.
We are going to run the country until such time as a proper transition can take place.
Good day to you. I am shocked, appalled, and I condemn the kidnapping of Maduro from Venezuela. I urge all world leaders, all 194 world leaders, to condemn this act. It is against international law. Trump is insane. Trump is a lunatic. You have removed a leader of a country, and you are putting him on trial in the United States. Let this be a warning for Africa and all African leaders. We need to invest in nuclear weapons. It is that simple. I won't repeat this message. To the Venezuelan people, my thoughts and prayers are with you. America wants your oil. And this is sad to see. It should be condemned immediately by all world leaders. Thank you.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Carissa Lawson. President Trump just announced on social media that Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, has been captured and flown out of the country. This comes a few hours after the U.S. hit Venezuelan military targets in Caracas, the country's capital. Here is the social post in full. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Our Washington correspondent, Ann O'Keefe, is joining us now by phone to tell us more about this. What are you hearing from the Trump administration right now?
Well, what we've heard is essentially what we've read. The statement from the president just a little while ago, quite stunning, that the United States has removed another country's leader and his wife, presumably forcibly against his will. Can't recall this ever happening, at least in modern history. The president, they're interestingly saying this operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. But just in the last few minutes, CBS News has learned Maduro was captured by Delta Force, the U.S. military's top special military or mission unit. This is the same unit that was responsible for killing al-Baghdadi, the ISIS leader, back in 2019. This is an elite unit of the U.S. Army that was involved in this strike or this operation here overnight. This began a few hours ago with apparent explosions over the skies of Caracas and other parts of Venezuela. And the president had given the U.S. military the green light to conduct land strikes inside Venezuela days before this actual operation. Two U.S. officials telling CBS News that they had discussed conducting the mission on Christmas Day, but U.S. airstrikes in Nigeria against ISIS targets took precedence that day. The days following Christmas opened up more potential strike windows to the U.S. military, but the operation's been held up for several days due to weather conditions over Venezuela. And the U.S. Or the officials tell CBS News that the military had wanted weather conditions advantageous to mission success. And for those of us who had been anticipating something might occur and wondering why they were so hung up on the weather, perhaps now we understand if this element of capturing and removing Maduro and his wife was in fact part of the operation all along. Already overnight, we've seen some pretty swift and fierce political opposition to this from Republicans, notably, and Democrats, among them the Utah Senator Mike Lee, who's been saying that there are questions now about sort of the constitutionality of this and why Congress wasn't consulted. We know, for example, the Senate Armed Services Committee saying nobody on that committee was informed about this beforehand. So there'll be all sorts of questions about why the Trump administration wanted to do this, why it felt compelled to do it now. And it comes amid swift or widespread public opposition to these operations. CBS News has polled this in recent weeks and suggested as many as 3 in 4 Americans believe Congress needs to authorize any kind of military operation like this. Widespread misunderstanding or a belief that the Trump administration hasn't explained why this is necessary. And so the fact that the president now is holding a news conference at 11 a.m. this morning at his Florida home perhaps will start filling in some of the details.
No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve. The most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime. The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice, all on full display in the middle of the night. Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around, and he found out. President Trump is deadly serious about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country. Deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people. Deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us. and deadly serious about reestablishing American deterrence and dominance in the Western Hemisphere. This is about the safety, security, freedom, and prosperity of the American people. This is America first. This is peace through strength. And the United States War Department is proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026, and under President Trump, America is back.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones, like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer. All perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York, it's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days. We're a respected country again, like never before. These highly trained warriors, operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement, caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea. We're just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in a ready, what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We had many helicopters, many planes, many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment was lost, not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far. With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have, and you see that Even if you just look at the boats, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average, 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%. And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world.
All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, this video is going to be entitled News Report or Israelite News Report. Right? Nicolas Maduro, Donald Trump, and Venezuela. All right. Yep. So much going on. So much news to report. I just put together a collage of different videos with some information in it. Lord willing, you was able to sit through it. All right. It was so much information. I'm sure this is good. Just part one, or the first news report on this. There's going to be other reports. Barakatah how about Shemal Shai. There's going to be other news reports on this. This is probably the first of many that we'll do pertaining to this subject, as well as all the brothers out there. All right. Great times to be alive. A lot of prophecy going on. All right. If you haven't heard, I'm sure you have. But the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, was captured by the United States, by the U.S. military and flown back to New York. All right. There's a lot of stories, a lot of a lot of underlying stories, a lot of information going around. All right. A lot of narratives. And, the one in the beginning that you saw, one of the narratives is that this guy, Nicolas Maduro, what's he saying on the screen right there? He basically called out the Zionists and said the people in Israel weren't the real people. Go back and watch it from the beginning and read it. And if you're asking, how do we know he's saying that? Well, we have brothers that's fluent in Spanish, right, that verified exactly what he was saying. You can hear his voice, right? It's not AI. And they verified what he was saying. So, of course, you also have the narrative of that Venezuela doesn't have one of those central national banks. I think this is called. I might be wrong with that. One of those Rothschild controlled national banks. That's another part of it. Also, the oil is the obvious one, right? The largest oil reserve on the whole planet. OK, that's one. Gold, a bunch of gold down there. Also, a bunch of silver. Another video I saw that I didn't include in this, said that Venezuela had one of the highest, one of the largest silver reserves in all the world. I think they said like 847, 180, 847 tons of silver. So, you got a place that's just, and I heard another one too about another ore element, precious earth element that they have. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. It might come back to me. It's something that begins with a V. I can't really remember. But anyway, they got a lot of stuff going on down there. Okay. They got a lot of natural resources as well as agriculture, a lot of different things. So it's even said that America is gonna, as you can see from this caption right here, let's go back to it. And this was in a movie. This was in, I think it's Jack Ryan, the movie. They showed that Venezuela had over half of the world's whole oil reserve. Oh no, gold reserves. Excuse me, that one is gold. So it's just, nothing but a complete win for Babylon the Great, which is America, going down there, putting this guy in putting him in, capturing him, taking him into custody and taking over the whole damn country. And this is on the prophetic front. This is major news, and we're excited about it. Okay, we're very excited about it. So Babylon the Great. If you had a question about where Babylon the Great was, or who is the hammer of the whole earth, you can't question it now. You cannot question it now. This is nothing more than a complete, what's the word? A complete ripoff. Now, don't get me wrong. Nicolas Maduro probably is a warlord. He probably is a narco-terrorist. We got no problem with that, right? At the end of the day, but look at what Babylon the Great is doing. The so-called white man Esau thing, he can just do whatever he want to fucking do. And he's showing you that he can. This is the great dragon, man. Or the dragon is the Roman Empire itself, all right? But this man right here is the great Leviathan that's in the sea, as the scripture calls him, so-called white man Esau. So, I want to do a quick video on this, but hey, we'll just see what the spirit takes us. Let's first start at Matthew 24. All right, this part of the video shouldn't be that long, but sometimes you got to go to certain scriptures. I just wanted to, and my apologies for the lengthy news report, but hey, it's a lot of information, and it could easily be still going on. I have more news clips and more info that should be heard, but I didn't want to overload you. As is, you got 17 minutes worth of different information, right? But that's a small part of all of the different stuff, that we could easily put in this. So this is Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And this is our focus. We focused on the end of the world. And we can't have the end. The end is not going to come without Armageddon or World War III. So this is a perfect thing that could spark, serious contention, with the nations, because we know that China and Russia and Iran have a lot of interest down there in Venezuela. Okay. It ain't like they innocent. They've been tapping into it too, getting certain reserves and certain resources from them, having certain deals. Now, Babylon the Great said, what, fuck that. Fuck a deal. I'm just going to take the whole thing and we're going to decide what's done with what. You see, even Africa chiming in on it. So this could spark serious unrest among the nations. And we glad. And we told you, man, Babylon the Great ain't nothing to fuck around with. But the Most High have to have it happen this way so that the nations, there has to be something that's going to happen in the near future to make the nations go against Babylon the Great to the point where World War III or Armageddon is going to be started. And this, they're going to go after other nations. Let's read that again. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? When you go into this phrase, end of the world, in the word world, let's go to the Greek. The Greek there is the word aeon.
Strong's G165. Ion.
Right. And what does it mean? Forever, an unbroken age, perpetuity of time, eternity, the world's universe, period of time or age. So right now, the period of time or the age that you're in the age of wickedness, the Roman Empire, right? The first earth age, which was ruled by four major empires, which is the Babylonians, the Persians and the Medes, the Grecians or Greece, and then Rome. We're still in Rome right now. We're in the second leg of the Roman Empire, and that's going to immediately precede the coming of the Lord. They will be in power when the Lord came. So we know we're in the revived Roman Empire. If you go here to Daniel 2, and it breaks down an image to you, the king's dream, the interpretation, Babylon, the first kingdom, Medo, Persia, and Greece, second, 2, and 3, and Rome is the final one. And after that, you have the divine kingdom. So we're waiting for the kingdom to come now, and we're in that fourth beast, okay, or that fourth part, as it were. That's going to precede the coming of the Lord. So that's why we're looking for the end of the world. Matthew 24:4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And another scripture says, the end is not by and by. What's going to happen? For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So you're going to see wars, rumors of wars, right? National intrigues. Another scripture says national intrigues, civil unrest. Now you got protests sparked all over the world behind this. And America just strong-armed the shit out of another nation, went in there, used military action, and took their damn president hostage. Took his ass, arrested him, right? And that's some big boy shit. That's some big boy, badass, Edomite. I could do whatever I want to do shit, and we love it. We love that, because you can't hide when you make moves like that. You can't hide yourself. You can't jump back and say you don't rule the world. Yeah, you do. You do rule the world. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. See that? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is it? And let's don't forget about the part of the narrative where Maduro is saying these people are Zionists and they're not the original, Jews, right? They may not play that on national TV media, but we got it for you. You see? So, hey, this is the same old playbook. Right? They usually go and topple leaders. Remember what happened to Saddam Hussein, Yasser Arafat, Hosni Mubarak from Egypt, just to name a few. Slobodan Milosevic from Yugoslavia, formerly called Yugoslavia. Remember him? What about there's others, man. Damn. I'm trying to think. I said Saddam Hussein. They would have got Ahmadinejad if he didn't get voted out already. They also had Bashir al-Assad from Syria, right? He had a coup of his own government. Then you had, let's don't forget about, what's his guy name, man, with the gold in Libya? Name is at the tip of my tongue. Well, it's going to come to me shortly. Gaddafi. Don't forget about what happened with Gaddafi, right? So they have leader after leader after leader. They impose or take out of power, whether it's directly through the American government or they set up proxy wars, sending their jackals, whatever they do, they're going to destabilize some shit. You remember how they did Saddam Hussein? Had his ass get hanged by his own people, right? And then, they killed Osama bin Laden, even though he wasn't a ruler of nothing, but he was a damn terrorist. They got his ass, and they've been steady killing terrorists and doing different stuff all this time. These people are not going to prevail. This is the greatest war machine you ever seen. The only people that can stop these individuals, this military machine, is Yahushua, man. The armies of heaven. You see? But it's wonderful to be able to see prophecy play out like this. And this earth is given into the hand of these wicked individuals, man. And I mean, there's so many scriptures down we can bring out that Esau can't hide from. Let's go here real quick. This is Habakkuk. Salakia. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And they're not even trying to hide the fact they want to take over the damn country, get the oil. You got this nigga, Pete Hegseth said Maduro effed around and found out. It's so damn corny. Trump standing there looking all smug. They bragging, to America is back and all this shit. Yeah. Babylon the Great is back. The Lord gonna do something terrible. But right now, I gotta give it to you, man. You're looking, you're looking kind of strong. But it is what it is. You gotta be that before the other part happens. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. That he is talking about is Esau. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine. What wine? His doctrine, his philosophy, his policies, one of which is democracy, right? Freedom. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And this is what he does, the great melting pot. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How do you increase what's not yours? You steal, you plunder, you rob, you cheat. Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And the thick clay represents debt. You see? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and await that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. You see, wow, man, that's crazy. You see that? Because you spoiled many nations, the nations are going to spoil you. Just a matter of time, man. You can't tell these proud individuals that they're not going to go down. They just know they're going to always be on top. But that's also part of the scriptures. The scripture says that they think that their houses shall continue forever. And they name their lands after their own names. That's these people. You can't get them out of it. The more we go move forward, you can just see it. One more verse. It says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And to him, the Heavenly Father, is that power of evil that he's trying to be delivered from. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and has sinned against thy soul. So it's well documented in heaven, and it's downright damn illegal to go into a foreign country and try to arrest its president. You see that? And that you did arrest the president, that you take over the country. You're going to set up your own puppet leadership to plunder and rob the people of Venezuela in that natural habitat over there. You want to funnel out all the natural resources, right? And make the deals that you want to make. Destroy the country, then hire Halliburton or whatever companies to go back over there and rebuild it, and make a bunch of money. It's money, money, money all the way around for these people you want to take over. And don't forget about the drug industry. You think they're going to do away with all the drugs that's being sent out of Venezuela or through it? Hell no. No, they're going to monopolize it, or they're going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn. They're going to, what they're going to do is they're going to benefit from it, okay? They're going to benefit from it. They're going to set up a system where they can keep a tab on who doing what, and they're going to allow it to go on, and they're going to highly tax the shit out of anybody dealing with drugs. They're going to take down one narco terrorist and set up others. That's easy to see, man. This is an old playbook. This is not anything new. This is the same thing that Babylon the Great has done. The same shit they try to do with Vietnam. The same stuff they've been doing with Kuwait and Libya, Syria, with Panama, what they did over there with Panama. Let's don't forget about Manuel Noriega and all the different so-called dictators and drug lords that they set up and then afterwards toppled them. See, this is not anything new. This is old shit, man. So we just give you the news report and we're going to just keep watching it. That's why I said this is the first of many lessons like this. This is the exciting part of prophecy. When things actually move, we don't have to do a lot of teaching about this. We've been talking about it already before it happened. When these things come to pass, you get to see Babylon the Great flex their muscles, and you can see where this shit is going. And we just waiting now for anything can happen. So-called potential so-called terrorist attacks. You see, retaliation from the other side. All kinds of shit could occur. This is why you must repent and be a follower of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because ain't no telling where this shit can go, man. All right, we ain't got much longer. We told y'all that, and eventually that mark of the beast gonna hit. But one thing about this, all this news that's really aggravating is the fact that certain stuff we can't verify. I saw a video earlier. They had Maduro, walking in, being all chained up and shit. Well, it looked like it was AI. You don't know if that's true, if it's real. This shit is psyop. You don't know what really is going on behind the scenes. I mean, it kind of all happened too easy. They have a hard time thinking you take a small contingent of troops, go to a foreign country where they got their full military, and you just bust right through and kidnap or arrest the fucking president of the place, and then losing no American troops at all. No Americans got killed. They're reporting. I don't know if I believe that shit, man. All right. I don't know if I believe that, but this is what they're running with. This is the report. Watch out for these devils. Keep your head on the swivel. There ain't no telling what could go on. All right. And there's a lot of other stuff, man. Brothers going to do all kind of lessons and have been. I'm just getting around to this one myself, but there will be more reporting on this, Lord willing. So we're going to see you right there. We're going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.